大家好，我们现在是在纽约的市政厅公园啊，市政厅公园。今天是2021年6月14号星期一，美东时间中午的12点18分。我们是在纽约，this is 纽约 Manhattan， 纽约 City Manhattan 的City Hall Park 啊，这是纽约市政厅公园。我们正在这里有一个支持杨安泽的一个活动啊，背书市警察亚裔警察工会和这个。
Talked about accountability, and accountability should be to our elected officials. We should be holding our elected officials accountable. And we could do that when we go to the vote on June 22nd. And there should be consequences. There should be consequences for a person who feels bold enough
后面就是市长办公厅啊。
out in the middle of the afternoon, near our community, in our community, there must be consequences. But we're not talking about consequences for everything. When there's a homeless stealing bread or food, they're at the end of their rope. They're at the last straw. They just want to eat. And what we do now, we take them, we put them in the criminal justice system when...
这个是纽约市亚裔警官协会和这个市警察警官工会将背书市长杨安泽啊。后面就是纽约市长的官邸。
They go into a hospital, they come out of a hospital. We need the resources. We need the resources to help them, to give them the help that they need. After September 11th, our city came back. Today, we need an outside business entrepreneur to take a hard look at our city government to ensure our city's economy returns. That man is Andrew Yang. I feel safer. Thank you, Chris. I'm so proud to accept the endorsements of Apex and CEA today. We all know that public safety is the most important thing in our city right now. Violent shootings are up 100% last year over the year before and are up 70% again this year. This past weekend, 2 people were killed and 19 wounded in a single weekend. This is unacceptable what is happening in New York City right now. And it's not just the shootings, it is the assaults, people being shoved on the subway tracks, the hate crimes against Asian Americans and Jews and other groups. These are the things that are destroying our confidence in our way of life here in New York City. This is what we have to turn around. We all know this is the most important issue in New York right now. A number of weeks ago, I was riding the subway, and a Latina woman came up to me, and she had a sweatshirt on, and then she showed me her badge. She pulled up her sweatshirt, and it showed me that she was an officer, she was in plainclothes. And then she leaned into me and said, Andrew, we need someone to speak up for us. She said that the officers who are tasked with protecting our lives don't feel like they are included anymore in their own city. And I heard this woman, and then I heard the dozens, hundreds of New Yorkers who said to me on the street, we need the police. We need to see police officers when we're walking our streets, when we're riding our subways. Think about the division threatening to destroy us. If you have a mayor and a police force that are not on the same page, we are seeing the results right now. This is something that we can change. A number of weeks ago, I said that my first act as mayor will be to go to the police force and say to them, we need you. your jobs professionally, responsibly, and justly. And as you do this, the people of New York will have your backs. I will have your back. And I'm so thrilled to be here today with you and Chris and the other officers to say I don't even need to wait until I'm mayor. That this is the moment, this is the rebuilding of trust that our city has needed and has been waiting for months, for years. Signal to how complete the failure of our current leadership has been, that we've allowed it to limp along with this dysfunctional relationship while the people of New York have suffered, while the officers have been waiting for someone to step up and speak up on their behalf. We all know we need the police. The city needs the police. We have to stop treating these as political questions when the way of life for our city is on the line. I'm a parent. I have 2 boys, and we want and deserve safe streets. We want and deserve safe subways. We are going to bring the city together. We are going to rebuild the morale of the police force. We're going to let you all know that the people of New York need you and want you to be able to do your jobs the way that we all deserve. I have concrete plans for how we can activate the police force, get shootings down, get hate crimes down. You've heard from about some of the conversations that Chris and I have had and that you and I have had. I want to detail a few of these proposals so that you can have a sense as to where we should be heading with the 21st century police force. The gun violence in our city is completely unacceptable, and 3 out of 4 shootings in Brooklyn right now are going unsolved. We need a new anti-violence and community safety unit of plainclothes police officers who will go into neighborhoods and get the guns out. We need to properly resource the gun violence suppression division. Right now it has 200 officers, 200 more. And we need to have police officers be a visible presence on our subways so that people know that they're safe when they're getting around our city. And that includes actually getting on the subways and doing a visual inspection. So if you're riding on the subway, you'll see a cop pass by, and then you'll know, hey, there's a cop on this train. You know who else will know there's a cop on the train? Anyone who wants to make trouble. I mean, these are the kinds of things that we know we need. As mayor, I will be working hand in hand to make sure that New Yorkers are safe every single day. I was thrilled to last week get the endorsement of the firefighters of New York City who took an oath to keep our lives and our homes safe. And I am proud to receive the endorsement of Apex and the CEA today to say that we will keep New Yorkers safe. I'm going to be the mayor who's going to be dedicated to making sure that we and our families are safe. We do have to rebuild trust between the NYPD of color, but let that process begin today. Again, we do not need to wait until January of next year. We do not need to accept these failures 1 minute longer. This campaign is an opportunity for us to fix what has been broken in our government. And I do want everyone to reflect on what this means, really. That the police officers have seen in me and my campaign a chance to restore a working relationship between the police and the mayor. And this is what the people of New York have been waiting for far too long. Let's give it to them. Am I right?
Yeah.
Let's deliver to them. A city that's working and a police force that's working for us and our families every single day. So proud to be with you both. So proud to be with you all. Thank you. Happy to take some questions.
So Mike, Aaron,
Police captain and the officers that have worked with him for years have chosen to endorse me as mayor today. This, to me, should tell New Yorkers all that they need to know about Eric Adams and his leadership.
Mr. Yang, when it comes to public safety, between a retired New York City police captain and yourself, why should they turn to you?
Eric Adams has built his entire campaign around the fact that he was a police officer years ago. But then when you listen to him talk about policing, sometimes he says he'd be a Giuliani mayor on crime. More recently, he said he'd be a David Dinkins mayor on crime. We're not even sure where he stands on policing. And again, I'm standing here today with the leadership of the union that Eric Adams was a member of for years. Think about what this says about who they're deciding to place their trust in to keep New Yorkers safe. If you can't listen to the police captains or the officers who worked with Eric Adams for years and have dedicated their lives to keeping us safe, to me that says all you need to hear.
Captain Moynihan, please. Captain Moynihan, what portion of your membership wants to support the borough president? Have that split come down in the decision between Mr. Yang and the borough president?
Well, I'm not getting into the vetting process, but one of the things that I think Andrew, Andrew, one thing to Andrew, and I think goes back to the past question. Crime evolves. We police differently than we did 100 years ago. We police differently than we did 20 years ago. We police differently than 10 years ago. And I think we saw a nationwide outpour that policing needs to change again. And we can't go back to the same old police tactics we used. That's where a new, fresh look comes in. It takes a look at the criminal justice system. It takes a look at the police department. It takes a look at the other agencies. Other agencies have been failing the citizens of New York. Other agencies have been tasked or are tasked to help the mentally ill. They have failed. Other agencies have been tasked to help the homeless. They have failed. Our community's outcry, outpour, is for quality of life. And it's not these folks. They just need help from the appropriate resources. And I think we'll just have the same old police that we did in the 90s and 2000s, and it's just not going to work. And that message, was very, to me, 31 years with the police department, it was said very clear that policing needs to change. I think we need to look with new ideas.
Eric.
Tell us, why did you not endorse Eric Adams?
We picked Andrew Yang for the reasons I just said, and I'm not going into our vetting process.
Did it have anything to do with the fact that he was actually a reformer pushing diversity years ago, and that runs through
Absolutely.
Okay, and what do you disagree with Mr. Yang about policing? You mentioned that was good with it.
I can speak to this. So Chris and I have had a number of conversations about my proposals for the NYPD. I proposed having a civilian police commissioner to help advance and evolve the culture. I proposed having new police officers live in New York City, which I think also would be positive about the culture. I proposed recruiting